डॉक्यूमेंट समझ में आ गया? ठीक ठाक, गुड. सो लेट मी जस्ट, हाँ क्वेश्चन पोर्टल में दे देंगे. आज जाने से पहले याद कर देना. जल्दी लेट मी जस्ट सॉर्ट आउट दिस इश्यू. सी क्वेश्चंस विल बी देयर इन द पोर्टल फॉर 10 days. और एक ऑटोमेटिक उनका बना रखे, ठीक है. सो दे अपलोडेड इट and many of you could not trace it out. There was some confusion. So from next question onwards, आज एक तुमको और क्वेश्चन दे दूंगा. Within 10 days you submit the answers. इसका बाद ढूंढोगे तो मिलेगा नहीं, ठीक है. So the question I am giving you, date count कर लो. For 10 days question will be there in the portal. Now it is easy for you to identify. Go to September, mains Delhi question answer. September में only sociology answers will be carrying a green tag. आग बंद करके green tag जहां होगा sociology है. And batch 1, batch 2 लिखा होगा. You write batch 2 primarily answers, not batch 1 answers, because they are ahead than you in terms of coverage of syllabus. So batch 2 का आंसर जो होगा तुम लिख लेना, ठीक है. आज मैं क्वेश्चन दे दूंगा, कल अपलोड हो जाएगा, कल से 10 days तक रहेगा. जाने से पहले बता देना, मैं क्वेश्चन दे दूंगा, ठीक है. सो वो आ जाएगा, करना आ जाएगा, सितंबर आ जाएगा. सी yesterday I discussed with you that Durkheim had two interests. First, he was interested to define the subject matter of sociology. Then he was interested to spell out how sociological research need to be conducted. What are the steps for sociological research? While defining the subject matter of sociology, he said, subject matter of sociology is social fact. Okay? And these social facts are present in every sphere of social life. In economic sphere, political sphere, religious sphere, education sphere, family sphere, you see the presence of social fact. Okay? So therefore you can easily identify the social fact and conduct sociological research on them. ठीक है, तो कल एग्जाम्पल दिया था, ठीक है. तो how your voting behavior is influenced by different social force like caste, kinship, religion. So that we can study from sociological standpoint. ठीक है. Similarly, social fact is present in family. ठीक है. Socialization of family, family giving primarily education to the children, supplying manpower to the industry. So all these things we can do a sociological analysis of family. We can look into social organization of work within industry. How within industry different classes, occupational groups are connected to each other. ठीक है. How their social connectivity, division of labor Durkheim बात कर रहा है. How this kind of connectivity among the people is driven by different social force. ठीक है. So that also we can study. So industry is always operative in a social context. Industry is also run by conscience collective. Be careful. So the way industries are running in America, in the same way industries are not running in India. Most of our industries in India are family-run industries. Social context. Recruitment is here taking place more on the basis of primarily what? Loyalty. If you are loyal to your primary owner, you stay as a part of the industry. So therefore efficiency and loyalty both are important. Industry in case of China, appointment will be done on the basis of state choice. Russia on the basis of state choice. America on the basis of your primary expertise. Therefore CEO of Google, his ethnicity is not important, his capability is important. Pepsi ka CEO, capacity is important, gender is not important. So how social factors are influencing to your position, your role, that sociology can speak about. Therefore, social facts are present in different spheres of society. कुछ याद नहीं आएगा, syllabus note कर लो. In a political system chapter, it is spelled out that sociologically you can explain state, you can explain pressure groups, you can explain civil society, you can explain voting behavior, you can explain Panchayati Raj institution, you can explain regionalism. Therefore, regionalism is a social fact. Panchayati Raj institution is a social fact. Civil society movement is a social fact. Understanding or not? So therefore, social facts are present in different spheres of society. We can identify them, we can study them, we can distinguish them from non-social facts. Okay? Then Durkheim goes on to say that social facts can be distinguished from individual act. Okay? What you do is act. Why you are doing it, that is fact. Eating is act, but the way you are eating, the steps you are following when you are eating. So Brahmin khana khayega, he will be primarily offering little food to God. That is social fact. Understanding or not? So therefore, act is different from facts, which is regular and continuous. We can study it scientifically. Then he went on to say, social fact can be distinguished from biological fact, psychological fact, demographic fact. Therefore, identification of social fact, separating social fact from non-social fact is extremely easy. Therefore, subject matter of sociology can clearly be identified and distinguished from subject matter of other disciplines. आगे समझ में? So after discussing about subject matter of sociology, he goes on to say how to study social facts. ठीक है? सोशल फैक्ट को कैसे स्टडी करेंगे, इसको पॉजिटिविज्म में पूरा रिलेट करोगे. He tells that social facts are the products of collective thinking and collective feeling. Thinking and feeling are not objectified. Therefore, anything that is coming out of collective thinking or collective feeling, ठीक है? Feeling बताया था. Women are not safe in Delhi. Collective feeling. I can conduct research on that. Corruption will not disappear from India. Feeling. Politics is primarily foundation to communal conflict. Feeling. Feeling is a feeling that may be true or that may not be true. But we can ask questions to the people, collect data on it, and develop a scientific explanation about it. Therefore, collective feeling and collective thinking are non-material social facts. But driven by this feeling, driven by this thinking, people manifest behavior that we can empirically arrest. For example, if girls are thinking that Delhi is not safe for them, then driven by this thinking, driven by this feeling that girls are not safe, I will be finding out most of the students of Waziram are not venturing out of their PG, understand not, after primarily specific time in the night. So therefore, collective feeling is influencing to their behavior. I can have empirical evidence about it. Driven by the spirit of patriotistic consciousness, collective thinking, people join army, risk their life, fight for their motherland. And when they are becoming martyrs, family is taking pride in their sacrifice. That I can study. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? Therefore, collective thinking and collective feeling are guiding our behavior. And that can be arrested empirically. ठीक है? So collective thinking and collective feeling like patriotistic consciousness, nationalistic consciousness, समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? Professionalism. So all these kinds of things can be studied sociologically. They are non-material social fact. Then collective acting. ठीक है? What is collective acting? बोलते जाओ. हाँ. Collectivity of students act in a given way. They go to school on time. They put on their uniform, attend school prayers. They participate in school functions, take examinations. From out of their collective actions of the teachers, structure of the school develops. Collectivity of people go to market, either to sell their produce or to buy the products or to primarily go for transaction. Middlemen. Therefore, structure of market is a product of collective behavior, of buyers, of sellers, of middlemen. Structure of school is a product of collective behavior of teachers, administrators, and the students. Structure of family is the collective role played by all the fathers in the same way, mothers in the same way, children in more or less same way. So that gives rise to structure of family. Understanding or not? So therefore, the structures you see in society, like structure of market, structure of school, structure of family, structure of cricket club, they all are primarily material social fact. Material because their behavior you can see, their roles you can see, you can ask them questions. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? Therefore, that is material social fact. Therefore, how many kinds of social facts you do have? Two. One is non-material social fact and second is material social fact. Durkheim is introducing a third kind of social fact that he calls as morphological social fact. Morphological social fact is dealing with the study of what? Morphology. What? Morphology क्या है? Demography. Morphology is the study of demography. Size of population. Syllabus में तुम्हारा पूरा सारे पेपर 2 में. Size of population, distribution of population, mortality fertility rate, pattern of migration, इसको बोलते हैं morphological social fact. ठीक है? What is sociology of population? बताओ. What is sociology of population? दर्शांगी बोलेगी अभी. दर्शांगी बोलो सोशियोलॉजी ऑफ पॉपुलेशन क्या है? सोशियोलॉजी ऑफ पॉपुलेशन बोलो, कुछ बोला रे, ज्यादा टेंशन मत लो. व्हाट इज सोशियोलॉजी ऑफ पॉपुलेशन? ये सारी चीज छोड़ो, दो सोच के बता, भूलोगे नहीं. ये किताब वाला लैंग्वेज नहीं चाहिए मेरे को. हाँ, सोशियोलॉजी ऑफ पॉपुलेशन. डू यू थिंक population in a society is driven by the cultural norms and cultural values? रुचि सही बोल, रुचित बोल रहा था. जैसे इंडिया का केस देखो. In the context of India, it is believed that putra is a kind of dhan. Kanya is meant for dan. So kanya dan gives you punya. हिंदी समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? If you are donating your daughter, you giving the hand of your daughter to a boy, you earn primarily ritual merits. इसलिए गर्ल इज कंसिडर्ड आज, आस्था ध्यान में सुनो, पापा मम्मी को बोलना जाके आज. सो कन्या इज नोन आज पराया धन, फॉरेन प्रॉपर्टी. दूसरा किसका धन हो, हमारा घर में टेम्पोररीली रहे हो तुम. So girl is having a temporal presence in the father's house. After your marriage, you cannot say, this is my room. Bhai should not be entering into my room. इसको फेमिनिस्ट बोलते हैं स्पिरिट ऑफ पैट्रियार्की. Understanding or not? So a girl is a pariah dhan, foreign property, and she should go to her own place. तो इसलिए after the marriage of a girl, she changing her family name, सरनेम चेंज हो जाता है. ठीक है. And son putra is dharm, dhan, putra is dhan means treasure, property. So when this kind of culture is present in a particular society, क्या होगा दिशानी? There will be preference for male child. Therefore, until the time that male child is born, they will keep on producing female child. 7 बेटियों का बाद एक बच्चा हुआ है, उफ, इतना खुश घर में. Therefore, population growth in the context of India is greatly driven by patriarchal cultural values or not. इसलिए हरियाणा में देखोगे, पंजाब में देखोगे, क्या skewed sex ratio, because daughter is a liability and son is primarily an asset. Understanding or not? So therefore you will be finding out that population is greatly driven by culture of the society. ठीक है. और एक चीज तुम देखोगे, men go for long distance migration, women go for short distance migration. Understanding or not? Nowadays the trend is changing. Both boys and girls are going to America as software engineers, but migration is also gender specific. And gender specific migration is also greatly driven by culture. Therefore, when you speak about population, समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? Population is also having a socio-cultural dimension. Therefore, Durkheim tells there are 3 kinds of social fact. Social fact related to population, that is known as morphological. Social fact that is dealing with structure study is material social fact. Social fact dealing with the study of collective consciousness is known as what? Non-material social fact. Therefore, there are present 3 different kinds of social fact: non-material, material, and morphological. आ गया समझ में? Yes or no? Then he goes on to study, analyze how to study social facts. 1-2 करके बताता है. Number 1, social facts are external to individuals. ठीक है. Social facts are external to individuals. Beautiful sentence है. How are social facts external to individuals? Caste system in India is external to you. You are born to it. Joint family in India, external to you. Communal violence in India is also external to you. Female feticide is external to you. If you are not doing it, somebody else is doing it. Dowry is also a social fact. So social facts are external to you. The family in which I am living, the school where I am studying, the religion I am practicing, the division of labor of which I am a part, everything is external to me. Social facts are not made by the likes and dislikes of the individuals, because social fact is different from individual act. They are there. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा? Be careful. They are there because society wants them to be there. Understanding it not? So since social factors are external to individual, they're internal to whom? They're external to individual. Therefore, they're internal to society. Since they are internal to society, कोई भी चीज तुम देख लो, internal to society. Raksha Bandhan is a product of society. Durga Puja is a product of society. Since we are born into that society, we are supposed to primarily celebrate these festivals, live in that family, go to such schools, accept to this government. Therefore, they all are social fact external to us. So they are external to individual, therefore they will not change on the basis of individual likes or individual dislikes. Your appreciation or denouncement are not going to affect to their continuity. समझ में आया? जितना भी क्रिटिसाइज कर लो, डॉक्टर अंबेडकर क्रिटिसाइज कास्ट, गांधी जी क्रिटिसाइज कास्ट, social reformers criticized to caste, but caste blinked at them and told them, touch me not. Therefore, caste was present, caste is present. And in future, whether it will be present or not, that society will decide. Understanding or not? Therefore, social fact, all social facts are what in character? External to you and external to me. So they are primarily so driven, so governed, so continuous. Even if we are criticizing to them, they are going to continue in society. Okay? Therefore, social facts are external to individual, internal to society. Since they are external to individual, internal to society, they persist and continue for a long period of time. Since they continue for a long period of time, you can have scientific evidence about them. Why they are operating, how they are operating, what are the constituent parts of them, their implications on people's life, everything you can collect empirical evidence on. And study social facts in an objective manner, in a primarily what? Empirical manner. ठीक है? समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? तो first principle you have to remember when you are studying social facts. Social facts are not the making, be careful. Social facts are not the making of individual, because social facts are different from individual act. Therefore, all social facts are the making of society, continuing since long time. We can have empirical evidence on them and we can study them without primarily what? Any subjectivity. So data collected on them will be speaking about why they are there, how long they are there, how they are influencing to people's life. If people are not accepting to them, what happens? Everything you can collect empirical evidence and study. ठीक है? Number 2. Social facts are constraining in character. Social facts are constraining in character. Constrain. C-O-N-S-T-R-A-I-N. Social facts are constraining in character. ठीक है? What is the constraint nature of social fact? बोलो. Why are social facts constraining in character? Constraining in character. So long as you are conforming to social fact, nobody will appreciate it. Conforming to social fact is expected from you. Since you are conforming to it, nobody will be appreciating it. तुम दिल्ली आते हो, मेरा सामने बैठते हो, क्लास सुनते हो, मैं किस दिन तारीफ कर रहा हूं? बिल्कुल नहीं. Because that is expected from you. You are supposed to sit here, listen to me, take down the notes, stay attentive. So that is expected from you. Therefore, conformity to social fact is expected from the people. Hence, so long as you are conforming to social fact, nobody will be appreciating it. But the day you are violating to it, every day you are coming to the class, sitting nicely, listening to the lecture, taking down the notes, you are absolutely committed. No appreciation. One day, you are not feeling good. Therefore, you are sleeping and teacher's eyes fall on you. Sky will be falling on your head. Then you'll be realizing the constrained character of social fact. Teacher will be giving a big lecture on duty of the students. So how should student behave, and give whole sort of examples, and making your life so primarily miserable, making you primarily feel so bad. You'll feel like primarily tearing your hair. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? Running away from the class. ये है नेचर ऑफ सोशल फैक्ट. ठीक है, तो सोशल फैक्ट्स आर कॉन्स्ट्रेनिंग इन कैरेक्टर. Once you confirm, nobody is bothered. Once you violate, then you are subjected to punishment. You feel bad about it. एक एग्जाम्पल तुमको दे रहा हूं, फिर आगे बढ़ेंगे. Remember your childhood. ठीक है, you are 6-7 years old. You are a child and you are supposed to catch a school bus. ठीक है, and school bus primarily stops in front of your house or in front of your society apartment. There is a little distance between your house and the where bus is stopped. Every day, either of your parents, they hold your hand along with your tiffin bag and water bag, and they primarily put you into the school bus. Put you. Understanding not? Sometimes they pack you in the school bus. Okay? It's a regular thing. How sociologically you explain it? Parents are discharging their social responsibility, what they are supposed to do. Your parents are not good doing something great. Every parents do that. Child is small. Child may fall down. Understand not? Therefore, it is the responsibility, social duty of the parents to drop the child, understand not? Or to put the child in the school bus. One day, your father or mother is thinking, few steps one child can go, now child is used to it, let him primarily board the bus. But while going, you started running because parents are not there, newfound freedom. And you fell on the road and carried some kind of injuries in your body, and crying, while crying, you are going back to your home. How will your parents feel? There are small injuries here and there. You are bleeding. Understand not? Crying profusely. How the parents will feel? What kind of parents we are? Not giving little time to the children. They'll be cursing themselves. And when they curse themselves, when they accuse themselves, when they blame themselves, that is coercive nature of social fact. Our Prime Minister cried some time back. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? Because so many people died out of this deadly disease called as corona. And he cried. And that is primarily constraining character of social fact. I being head of the country, so I could not save the life of the people. So therefore, my heart is bleeding. So therefore, tears in my eye. So this is constrained character of social fact. मैं कुछ नहीं बोलने वाला हूं, मेरे को उसका रहा है श्रीनिवास. Understanding not? So this is constrained character of social fact. The social facts are what in character? Social facts are what in character? Bolo. Social facts are external to individual. And so long as you are conforming to social fact, nobody is giving you Nobel Prize. Nobody is giving you Padma Awards. Nobody is appreciating you. But the moment you are violating to social fact, you realize the constrained character of it. Okay? So therefore, every researcher going to study social facts should understand, you are not there to bring revolution in society. You are not there to primarily put an end to caste system. You are not there to put an end to dowry. They all are social fact. Therefore, they are persistent in character. And when people don't conform to it, they realize the constant character of it. Why dowry? Because when parents are not paying dowry, they are thinking that we should have given something good to our daughter. She is leaving the family. If we are not able to do it, we feel absolutely shattered. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? Therefore, whatever may be the condition, we should be, what? Sending our children with primarily in a what? Gracious manner, giving her loads of gift so that she feels happy. Or she feels secured. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? Therefore, I am not saying practice of dowry is good. I am simply saying practice of dowry is what? Social fact. People conform to it, therefore there is a continuity of dowry. And since there is a continuity of dowry, so I am going to study it. Mind you, a sociologist is not a social reformer. A sociologist is there to study what is present in society. Therefore, every social fact present in society, I am there to study. I am not going to tell what is good and what is bad. And while studying, I must be studying by collecting empirical evidence. So therefore, while studying social fact, you must have to speak through facts. You should not be speaking on the basis of your assumption and presumption. आया समझ में? तो social facts are primarily external to individual, internal to society. What is motive to study? Motive to study is to primarily understand the truth. बताओ मेरे को, एक डॉक्टर के लिए मलेरिया अच्छा बीमारी है कि कैंसर अच्छा बीमारी है? ऑनसिल और दोबारा क्वेश्चन नहीं पूछोगे, आंसर करो इसको. फॉर ए डॉक्टर, मलेरिया इज गुड डिजीज और कैंसर इज ए गुड डिजीज? नो डिजीज इज गुड, नो डिजीज इज बैड. डिजीज इज ए डिजीज. ही हैज टू मेक डायग्नोसिस. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? एंड गिव राइट काइंड ऑफ ट्रीटमेंट. इसलिए हमारे लिए we have to see what are the problems present. हम ये नहीं बोलेंगे ये प्रॉब्लम अच्छा है, प्रॉब्लम कम खराब है. How families are continuing, how religion is continuing, what is the role of religion, हमको स्टडी करना है. स्टडी करके हम अपना रिपोर्ट दे देंगे. If something is bad and we have studied it, government is having data. Using this data, government can primarily make policy to put an end to it. Therefore, a sociologist will not be making policy like abolition of untouchability act. वो sociology का काम नहीं है. Sociology will be exploring social truth, and truth should be given to all possible kind of audience. जिसका responsibility है, so they will be transforming negative conditions into what? Positive condition. Understanding or not? Therefore, a sociologist is a researcher. He should speak out the truth, and truth explored by him should be primarily taken into consideration by whom? Policy makers, planners, people in power, or people in government. They should try to change it. चलो, so 2 point तुमको बताया. Social facts are external to individual, internal to society, and social facts are coercive in character or constraining in character. Durkheim एक sentence बोलता है, which is applicable to normal social fact. He tells social facts are moral in character. This is applicable to normal social fact, not pathological social fact. Social facts are moral in character. What is moral? तुम कंफ्यूज करोगे, इसमें और एक सेंटेंस को ऐड कर लो. नॉर्मल सोशल फैक्ट्स आर मोरल इन कैरेक्टर लिख दो. नॉर्मल सोशल फैक्ट्स आर मोरल इन कैरेक्टर. व्हाट इज मोरल? What is moral? They are moral because they are the product of society. ठीक है? They are moral because they are a product of society. ठीक है? अरे going to temple is not moral. Respecting to constitution is also moral. Respecting to dignity of women is also moral. नॉट बीइंग इंडल्ज्ड इन करप्शन इज ऑल्सो मोरल। ये मोरल का बात कर रहा हूं। टेम्पल जाके आरती देना सिर्फ मोरल नहीं है। If a man offering prayers or primarily going for rituals in the temple is a rapist, that person's behavior cannot be considered as moral. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? Social facts are moral facts because they are endorsed by society. They are the products of, ध्यान में सुनना, they are the products of conscience collective. Therefore, they are moral. Social facts are the product of society. And most importantly, they are the product of conscience collective. And conscience collective क्या है तुमको बताया था? Conscience collective is committed to collective well-being. Conscience collective is committed to primarily what? Common welfare. So therefore, social facts are moral facts because they are product of society, coming out of conscience collective. Therefore, people must have to follow them. If you are following them, through that you are respecting to conscience collective, respecting to society. So therefore, most of the social facts are moral facts because they are normal. And by conforming to them, you primarily pay respect to society. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? Therefore, paying tax on time, respecting to primarily status of women, giving them chance for equality. They all are, through that you all are primarily conforming to conscience collective. Because your society gives importance on equality, justice, freedom, and you are simply conforming to it. अरे फिर गड़बड़ कर रहे हो. Caste system is not primarily a product of conscience collective today. Caste is primarily driven by group interest. But in thousands of years back, so you primarily created caste. किस लिए? You created caste so that people can divide work among themselves. You can go for reciprocation. Collective interest will be gratified. So when caste originated, Brahmin was not superior or primarily Potter was not inferior. Caste was a system of division of labor. Caste was not producing hierarchy or inequality. इसलिए मैं बार बार बोलता हूं, what caste was, that caste is not, and that is not the future of caste. So caste is becoming pathological today. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? It was a normal social fact when originated. Now it has become pathological because it is contributing for group interest than primarily catering to collective well-being. Understanding or not? तो इसीलिए social facts are primarily moral facts because coming from society, catering to the needs of the people, so therefore you are conforming to it. ठीक है? 3 पॉइंट हो गया. क्या क्या हुआ? Social facts are external to individual, internal to society. When you are conforming to social fact, nobody appreciates it. But when you are violating to it, you realize the constant character of it. तीसरा, social facts are moral fact because they are the making of conscience collective, product of society, and by conforming to that, you conform to conscience collective, moralize your society. ठीक है? Social facts are emergent in character. Next point. Social facts are emergent in character. क्या है emergent in character? बोलो. Social facts are emergent in character. बोलो क्या है ये? Emergent in character. इसका मीनिंग ये हुआ, one social fact gives rise to the growth of other social facts. One social fact gives rise to other social facts. Therefore, social facts are emergent in character. बोलो बोलो, बोलते जाओ। तुम्हारा एग्जाम्पल, अपना एग्जाम्पल दो। स्टूडेंट स्टडिंग इन द क्लास इज ए सोशल फैक्ट. What it will give rise to? Some students out of this class will be entering into bureaucracy. So one social fact is giving rise to another social fact. Causal analysis इसको बोलते हैं. ठीक है? When you join bureaucracy, you bring administration to the doorstep of the people. ठीक है? तो collective conception of justice will be greatly promoted. So therefore, students are studying in the class, social fact. Those who are studying in the class, they get selected into bureaucracy. Effective performance of primarily bureaucratic roles is giving good governance to the people. Therefore, one social fact gives rise to another social fact. And that social fact gives rise to other social fact. Therefore, in a chained manner, interchained manner, you can study the social facts because social facts are emergent in character. आया समझ में? ये एक सोशल फैक्ट से दूसरा सोशल फैक्ट पैदा होता है. Therefore, don't study social fact in isolation. ठीक है? एक बढ़िया एग्जांपल है. Self respect movement is a social fact. Came out of what? Came out of what? अरे सत्यानाश. Self-respect movement as a social fact came as a reaction to the severity of caste system practiced in South India. And self-respect movement gave rise to the empowerment of non-Brahmins. Consequences, Dravidam Munatram Kalagam, DMK party. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? Understanding or not? So a political party is coming out of a social movement. DMK came into prominence. पहले डीके था, फिर डीएमके हुआ, फिर इसका स्प्लिट हो गया, एआईडीएमके आ गया, तो इस तरह पहुंचा. ठीक है? डीएमके का एक लीडर आके पहुंचे. नाम क्या है? अन्नादुराई पहले पहुंचे. पेरियार तो पहले थे. अन्नादुराई आके पहुंचे. अन्ना का बात को एक स्टालिन अभी नहीं, अन्ना का, स्टालिन का बाप का नाम पूछ रहा हूं. करुणानिधि साहब आके पहुंचे. When Karunanidhi came to power, understand not, his son primarily succeeded him. Dynasty rule came into prominence. Annadurai never appointed his son as primarily the head of the party. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? But Karunanidhi primarily chose Stalin to be his successor. So therefore, rise of Stalin is a social fact that can be studied with reference to DMK assuming power. DMK assuming power is connected to Dravidian movement, self-respect movement. And self-respect movement is connected to severity of caste. Therefore, when I discuss about the rise of Stalin in Indian politics or Tamil politics, I cannot study that in isolation, looking into the antecedents of social fact. Therefore, every social fact is emergent in what? Every social fact is what in character? Emergent in character. Therefore, one social fact should be studied, समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है, in relation to other social facts. 4 पॉइंट तुमको बताया. ठीक है? 1000 example you can give. So therefore, social facts are emergent in character. 4 पॉइंट दोबारा बताओ, फिर आगे बढ़ेंगे. पहला पॉइंट क्या हुआ? सोशल फैक्ट्स आर एक्सटर्नल टू इंडिविजुअल, इंटरनल टू सोसाइटी. सेकेंड बताया, सोशल फैक्ट्स इफ यू आर कंफर्मिंग, यू डोंट गेट प्राइमरली व्हाट? अप्रिसिएशन. भावलेशन गिव्स राइज टू कंस्ट्रेनिंग कैरेक्टर ऑफ सोशल फैक्ट. सोशल फैक्ट आर moral in character because they conform to conscience collective. They are the product of society. And social fact, बोलो, are emergent in character. आगे समझ में? एक सेंटेंस में पूरा बता दो. Subject matter of sociology is social fact. Social fact can be distinguished from individual act and non-social fact. Social facts are three types: material, non-material, morphological. And social facts, समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है, are emergent in character. They put constraint when violated. Social facts are moral and social facts are external to individual. एक सेंटेंस पे खत्म. Yes or no? समझ में? एक सेंटेंस याद कर दोगे, एग्जाम में आएगा सोशल फैक्ट, शॉर्ट नोट 150 वर्ड, 150 आएगा, 250 300 वर्ड, एक्सपेंड कर दो 300 वर्ड. ठीक है, चलो आगे बढ़ो. डॉर्कहाइम एक स्टेटमेंट बोलता है, ट्रीट सोशल फैक्ट एज थिंग्स. ट्रीट सोशल फैक्ट एज थिंग्स. अरे सुमित, जो पढ़ाया हूं उसी को इकट्ठा कर दिया हूं. ट्रीट सोशल फैक्ट एज थिंग्स. जब सोशल फैक्ट को कैसे स्टडी करोगे? डॉर्कहाइम गुरुजी हैं, बोलते हैं सुनो, ट्रीट सोशल फैक्ट एज थिंग्स. ठीक है, व्हाट आर द सोशल फैक्ट्स? बोलो. सोशल फैक्ट्स आर सोशल स्ट्रक्चर्स, फैमिली स्ट्रक्चर, समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं? स्कूल स्ट्रक्चर. तो सोशल फैक्ट आर सोशल स्ट्रक्चर्स. They're existing since long period of time. They are the product of collective act. टीचर दिल्ली जाते हैं, क्लास लेते हैं, एग्जाम कंडक्ट करते हैं, स्टूडेंट जाते हैं, कबड्डी खेलते हैं, पढ़ाई करते हैं, आपस में लड़ते झगड़ते हैं, प्रिंसिपल के पास आते हैं. कलेक्टिव बिहेवियर. If some students are passing out from the school, others will be replacing them, do the same kind of work. Therefore, structures are social fact which are subjected to persistence and continuity. Yes or no? Similarly, morphological social facts are more or less constant. Population will be constant. इक्का दुक्का फर्टिलिटी मोर्टालिटी सर कम हो जाएगा, माइग्रेशन में थोड़ा सा फर्क पड़ता है, but population you can go and objectively you can study. What is the size of population in a particular place? How population is divided? Income of the population. So yes, sir, concretely you can see and study it. ठीक है? Collective consciousness. How driven by the spirit of nationalism people are celebrating 15th August. लाल किला मैदान जाओगे पता चल जाएगा. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? तो collective consciousness is driving people's action, that you can see. Therefore, social facts are the product of one social structure, which is the product of collective behavior. Social fact is morphological in character. You can that is tangible. You can study it scientifically. Social facts are the product of collective consciousness, which drive collective action. That also you can see. Scientifically arrest. The way a matter is being studied, because matter is static, matter is continuous, matter is empirically arrestable. Similarly, social structure, demographic composition, समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? और similarly, collective consciousness, guiding collective behavior are empirically arrestable. You can collect data on them. Data stands valid. They are subjected to continuity. Therefore, the way you are studying matter, collecting empirical evidence, in the same way, social structure, population structure, collective consciousness guiding collective behavior, you can collect empirical evidence without any biasness and study them in a scientific manner. Therefore, treat social fact as things. They study structure of matter, we study social structure. They study material unit, we study social unit or social structural units. Therefore, what they study, that we study, the way they study it, same way we study it. Therefore, sociology is a science. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? Therefore, science studies matter. Sociology treats social fact as things. So, meaning what? Like things, we consider them as objective, collect empirical data, and on the basis of that data, we explain the structure. है समझ में? So, treat social fact as things. Apply method applicable to the thing study. Same method you can apply to the study of social structure. Understanding not? So therefore treat social fact as things. क्यों? नंबर क्या हुआ? पहला नंबर, things are subjected to persistence and continuity. Social structure is subjected to persistence and continuity. Things will not change on the basis of researchers' likes and dislikes. Similarly, social facts will not be primarily changed on the basis of your appreciation or your criticism. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? Things can be objectively analyzed. Social fact can also be objectively analyzed. Therefore, treat social fact as what? Things. आ गया समझ में? Yes or no? Second, while studying, मैं क्या पढ़ा रहा हूं समझ में आ रहा है? Positivism. While studying social fact, while studying material fact, you go for causal analysis. ठीक है? While studying social fact, you also go for causal analysis. Causal analysis means what? Cause-effect relationship. Since we can use cause-effect relationship while studying social fact, समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? So therefore, sociology is a kind of science. Science goes for causal analysis, sociology goes for causal analysis. Therefore, using cause-effect relationship, we can study social fact. इसको थोड़ा एक्सप्लेन कर रहा है. ठीक है? दो पॉइंट बता रहा हूं इसमें. Sociology can go for causal analysis while studying social fact. So, since we are going for causal analysis to study social fact, the way science goes for it, therefore sociology is a science. Second point. ठीक है? तुमको पढ़ा था जो positivism पढ़ा रहा था. You know, in the field of science, you find out that cause gives rise to consequence, and both you can establish interlinkage between. ठीक है? Water is primarily converted into vapor in 100-degree temperature. So cause is what? Temperature is increased. Therefore, water, a liquid, is being converted into a gas. A given cause is giving rise to a specific consequence. Therefore, cause can be scientifically identifiable and consequence can be scientifically identifiable, and on the basis of that you can develop a general law. Water, a liquid, is becoming solid in 0-degree temperature and vapor in 100-degree temperature. General proposition. ठीक है? Cause is what? Change in temperature, change in the state of a particular object. Same object can be liquid, solid, and gas because temperature is primarily changing. Same kind of causal analysis we can use in sociology. बोलो, COVID-19 was the cause. Online class is the consequence. है कि नहीं? मैं आसमान से बात कर रहा हूं कि सच बोल रहा हूं? बोलो बोलो, अरे बोलो. COVID-19 is the cause and online class is the consequence. डाटा है सामने, तुम हो, मैं हूं. कोविड पीछे रह गया. So therefore, one cause has given rise to this consequence. Online class is the cause. Consequence क्या है? Consequence क्या है? Family is converted into school class. पहले डिस्टिंक्शन था, घर घर है, स्कूल स्कूल है. आज का डेट में द डिस्टिंक्शन इज बीइंग प्राइमरली व्हाट मिटिगेटेड. सो फैमिली इज बीइंग कन्वर्टेड इनटू स्कूल क्लास. ठीक है. घर में 2 बच्चे होंगे, डिजिटल डिवाइड का बात मैं नहीं कर रहा अभी. घर में 2 बच्चे होंगे, 2 children are there at home. One is preparing for civil service, other is preparing for medical or engineering service. Every time one class or the other is taking place in the premise of family, and the privacy of the parents is lost or not. मम्मी जोर से मत चिल्लाओ, काम वाली दीदी से इतना जोर से बात मत करो, डिस्टर्बेंस हो रहा है, पढ़ाई नहीं हो पा रहा है. So mother's privacy is lost. So mother is worried. In her private space, school has primarily what? Trespassed into. So school has trespassed into her private domain. She cannot watch television freely, waiting for when the class will be over. घर घर का कहानी है कि नहीं है? So therefore, जाके आज मम्मी को बोलो, मम्मी खुश हो जाएगी कि सर ने हमारा बात कर दिया. So therefore, her private space you have encroached upon. She is feeling miserable, but still making sacrifice. बच्चे पढ़ रहे हैं. So therefore, a series of cause and consequence you can connect. And you are not speaking from out of the blue. That is what is happening in reality. You are only gathering facts about it. Yes or no? Similarly, you can find out COVID is the cause. Problems are there, possibilities are there. Problem is reverse migration. Problem is people spending more on healthcare. Problem is families are becoming bankrupt. Earning members of the family, many families, they have lost the earning members of the family. Distress, psychological turmoil. Possibility is pharmaceutical companies are conducting research. New vaccine is primarily making people billionaires. Government is primarily making vaccine policy as the primary trump card to win elections. New primarily non-governmental organizations are coming into prominence and playing primarily what? Their social role and coming to limelight. Press is getting a topic to primarily discuss. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? So therefore, many kinds of possibilities are coming into prominence. Therefore, you can go for a sociological analysis of COVID-19. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? तो इसीलिए जब एक क्वेश्चन सर आता है, आ गया सोशियोलॉजिकल एनालिसिस ऑफ डिमोनेटाइजेशन, कोई चिंता नहीं है. गो फॉर कॉजल एनालिसिस. Demonetization is the cause. Why demonetization? Number of other causes. Consequence of demonetization? Other causes. Link them up together. Sociology. Sociology is an art. कोई रटने का थोड़ी ना जरूरत है. Understanding or not? Number of causes together gave rise to a consequence, demonetization. प्राइम मिनिस्टर 50 बार बोलते हैं डिमोनेटाइजेशन किया ब्लैक मनी खत्म होगा, डिमोनेटाइजेशन किया, बोलते जाओ, डिमोनेटाइजेशन किया इसलिए क्या है, टेररिज्म खत्म होगा. सो these are the causes, this is the consequence. But this cause consequence वो नहीं रहा और कुछ हो गया. Nation is standing in front of the banks. Bankers are going for corruption, making easy money. Consequence. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? Yes or no? So therefore, sociology should go for which analysis? Cause effect relationship. कोई भी चीज बोल सकते हो. Poverty is the cause. There can be a series of consequence. If poverty gives rise to crime, crime is the cause. फिर crime is the cause. Consequence क्या होगा? More spending on policing system, modernization of policing system, more number of vacancies in police service. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? Number of other consequences होगा. CCTV will be primarily put on different areas of the what city. बोलते जाओ. सोशियोलॉजी में कोई पढ़ने का जरूरत है? एंटीना ऊपर करो, लिखते जाओ. जिसका एंटीना नीचे है, एंटीना ऊपर है, म्यूजिक. एग्जाम का एक दिन से पहले पढ़ना है, फिर जाके लिखते आओ. एग्जामिनर से नया नया चीज लिखा है, कुछ नया नहीं है, दिमाग थोड़ा सा शार्प है, यू कैन कीप राइटिंग इट। तरीका बता दिया, ठीक है। चलो आगे बढ़ो। सो कॉजल एनालिसिस सोशियोलॉजी कैन गो फॉर, ठीक है। लास्ट सोशियोलॉजी और सोशल फैक्ट फॉर दैट मैटर। सोशल फैक्ट, अच्छा ये जो बताया मैंने कॉजल एनालिसिस, ये किसका कॉन्सेप्ट पता है? एक जॉन स्टुअर्ट मिल करके थे जो डॉर्कहाइम का दुश्मन। इंडिविजुअल इज द स्प्रिंग बोर्ड ऑफ सोशल लाइफ, उसी का फॉर्मूला लाके इसको गालियां दिया। जॉन स्टुअर्ट मिल इज यूजिंग ए कॉन्सेप्ट दैट इज नोन एज concomitant वेरिएशन। उधर से इसको उठाया, ठीक है। When you say poverty leads to crime, this social fact is related to this social fact or not? Therefore, if there is no poverty, possibility of crime will be minimal. Therefore, poverty is the cause, crime is the consequence. There can be other factors also leading to crime. ठीक है? White collar crime is there. People are plentifully rich, but they commit crime. Other factors are there, I'm not discussing about it. If poverty is the cause, crime is the consequence. They both are committed to each other because one is the cause, other is what? Consequence. But is crime poverty? Poverty causes crime, or primarily, poverty causes crime. But crime is no poverty, they are variant. Therefore, two different phenomena may be committed to each other or related to each other, but still they are separated. So therefore, these are two phenomena. These two phenomena are interlinked because one is the cause, other is the consequence. But that never does mean crime is poverty or poverty is crime. So this idea he borrowed from primarily John Stuart Mill and applied that to the study of social facts, causal analysis. So cause leads to effect, but effect is not the cause, because this is effect and this is cause, but effect can be converted into a cause. So crime is the cause, policing is primarily what? Consequence. Policing can be cause. We need modernization of policing system, cause, and that demands more money, therefore more tax on the people. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? So more tax on the people because we need money to spend on policing, modernization of police. Modernization of police because intensity of crime is increasing. Intensity of crime is increasing because poverty is present. So therefore you can establish correlationship between cause and effect. है समझ में? Therefore sociology should go for cause-effect relationship. Last. Social facts facilitate for comparison. Social fact facilitate for comparison. You know, Durkheim considers that comparative method is not a method, it is sociology itself. Comparative method is not a method, rather it is sociology itself. Okay? Means comparative method is the heart and soul of sociology. Without comparison, you cannot pursue sociological research or you cannot do any sociology. Therefore, Durkheim tells, comparative, a question आता है बार बार, comparative method is not a method, it is the heart and soul of sociology, it is sociology itself. Why comparison? Why comparison? Bolo. Have you seen your childhood photograph? देखियो कैसे लगता है? बोलो. तानवी अपना देखिए चाइल्डहुड फोटोग्राफ, कैसे लगते हो? छोटा सा क्यूट सा इतना सा बच्चा लग रहा है. So you feel happy looking at your photograph? So very good. So when you make a comparison between your childhood photograph and photograph today, कैसे लगता है? I have been grown. I am a grown-up person now. So therefore, to understand change in you, you have to primarily make a comparison between what you were and what you are. Therefore, comparison facilitates us to understand change. तो फैमिली चेंज को स्टडी करना है, इकोनॉमिक चेंज को स्टडी करना है, सोसाइटल चेंज को स्टडी करना है. We have to go for comparison or not? Yes or no? So therefore, unless you compare, you make history, you cannot make sociology. Because history explains one situation in detail. Sociology compares between two situations to understand similarities and differences between them, to understand change. If you study one particular thing in detail, you do history. When you see two conditions similar and compare between them, you pursue sociology. Therefore, comparative method is not a method, it is the heart and soul of sociology. कितना बढ़िया चीज बताया. Yes or no? तो इसलिए क्या क्या कंपेयर कर सकते हो? When you are going for comparison, be careful. Don't compare monkey with donkey or don't compare apple with potato. मतलब don't compare monkey with donkey. Don't compare family mango with potato or apple with potato. बोलो 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 बोलो. मतलब क्या है? Compare one religion with another religion. Don't compare religion with politics. Compare between equals. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? One society should be compared with another society. Understanding or not? One law should be compared with another law. Division of labor in one society should be compared with division of labor in another society. Religion in one society should be compared with religion in another society to understand, to develop a generalization about social functions of religion, dysfunctions of religion. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? So don't compare between non-comparables. Understand not? You can compare dictatorship with democracy. You can compare one democracy with another democracy. You should not be comparing democracy with that of agricultural economy. कुछ नहीं निकलेगा meaning. Understanding not? So therefore compare between the comparables, don't compare between non-comparables. ठीक है? तो why should we go for comparison? Comparison helps us to understand two different structures. Comparison helps us to understand primarily what? Continuity and change. Comparison helps us to understand social progress. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? Therefore, different kinds of social facts we can compare. What all Durkheim has compared so far, you have studied. Durkheim compared simple society with complex society to find out simple society produces mechanical solidarity and complex society produces organic solidarity. Durkheim made a comparison between normal society and abnormal society. क्या देखा? In normal society, conscience collective is present. In anomic condition, which is a pathological condition, there is no conscience collective present. So therefore, anomy is giving rise to hopelessness. and normal society promotes unity and integration. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं? तीसरा क्या कंपेयर किया? Law in simple society with law in modern society. There is repressive law, there is restitutive law. So why restitutive law? Organizational character of society is different from organizational character of other society. So through comparison, he is giving us analysis about division of labor, how different, social structure, how different, form of crime and punishments are how different. And through that, we are having an objective understanding about two different social structures and how they are going for social change. समझ में? So therefore, comparative method is not only a method, it is the heart and soul of sociology. To understand India better, what we should do? To understand social change in India, what we should do? Very good. तुम्हारा syllabus में लिखा हुआ इसलिए पढ़ा था 3 दिन syllabus. You compare your past with present. तो इसलिए second chapter में लिखा हुआ है how modernization started in India. How protest and movement took place in colonial period. How nationalist movement contributed for social change. आगे लिखा है community development program and society social change. Panchayati Raj institution and social change. Industrialization, urbanization, social change. 5-year plan, social change. Education, social change. Satyanas. Therefore, comparing between the two, you can make sense of what India was looking like in past and what is India you are holding in hand today. Therefore, to understand change, understand progress, you have to go for comparison. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? Therefore, comparative method unless sociology goes for sociology is reduced into what? History. Therefore, history gives us data to go for comparison between past and present. इसलिए तुमको बताया था sociology without history is rootless. आया समझ में? Yes or no? So therefore, comparison is the hallmark of sociology. So without comparison, we cannot conduct sociological research. आया समझ में? तो इसलिए how to study social fact? Treat social fact as things. Second, go for cause-effect relationship. Third, go for comparison. Only then you can study social fact from an objective, scientific perspective, and that will make sociology what? A science. Therefore, Durkheim is batting in favor of sociology as a science. Therefore, he tells social fact can be studied in a scientific, objective, value-neutral manner. समझ में? इसलिए डॉर्कहाइम कौन है? Positivist. And his positivistic position is greatly explained in his analysis of rules of sociological method. है समझ में? अभी पूरा पॉजिटिविज्म समझ में आ गया, इसको लेके पॉजिटिविज्म में लिख सकते हो. How Durkheim is a positivist. ठीक है? कुछ क्रिटिसिज्म देंगे डॉर्कहाइम का थ्योरी का. रूल्स ऑफ सोशियोलॉजिकल मेथड, सोशल फैक्ट का कुछ क्रिटिसिज्म देंगे. बताओ पहला क्रिटिसिज्म क्या होगा? पहला क्रिटिसिज्म क्या होगा? वेरी गुड. हिज स्टडी ऑफ सोशल फैक्ट is not providing any space to give importance on individual behavior. Therefore, individual behavior is absolutely ignored by Durkheim sociology. ठीक है? Individual behavior is absolutely ignored by whom? Durkheim. ठीक है? One. Who give importance on individual behavior? पढ़ियो अभी, बताओ. Who give importance? लिखा है अभी. वही individual behavior. Facts don't fall from the sky लिखा है अभी. Individual behavior is primarily given importance by interaction theory. एथनोमेथोडोलॉजी, फेनोमेनोलॉजी, समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? So they give importance on individual behavior or primarily interaction. They criticize that Durkheim sociology is ignoring to individual behavior. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? And individual behavior is greatly driven by what? Your common sense knowledge. ठीक है? Your perceptions, your sentiment, so they manifest direct your behavior. Therefore, individual behavior is driven by common perception, common sense. Second criticism. वो पर जोड़ दो. Second criticism. बोलो. बोलो. इसको ढंग से बोलो. ओके. सो वेबर क्या बोलता है? वेबर ये बोलता है, any structures you study is located in a cultural and historical context. Capitalism in India. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? In Durkheim sociology, context is missing out. You go and study that structure. Context is not given importance. Durkheim is forgetting that ignoring context, you are ignoring the truth. The way democracy is operating in India, capitalism is operating in India, is not similarly capitalism operating in case of America. In America, if you have talent, if you have knowledge, you can become primarily astronomically rich. But in India, bottlenecks are there. इसलिए इंडिया को बोलते हो क्रॉनी कैपिटलिज्म. You need to have a political godfather to bless you. Only then you can experience economic success. So therefore, our context, our culture to promote capitalism is different from the context you see in Japan or the context you see in America. So therefore, cultural context, historical context are very important to analyze than studying what is already there. You can collect data on this, but you can have a better understanding of society if you interpret history, interpret culture, interpret politics, which is influencing to your capitalist character. So therefore, Weber tells history and cultural context are not given importance by whom? Durkheim. Durkheim tells study facts as facts, but behind the facts visible, there are present many reality which is invisible. Therefore, invisible reality must be studied to make the sense of visible reality. And that is possible only through interpretation, not through observation or scientific inquiry. Understanding or not? So that is the limitations to Durkheim's theory of social fact. Tisra limitations I'll be saying, which Anthony Giddens talks about. Anthony Giddens writes a book. नाम सुने एंथोनी गिडेंस का? सुने हो? नहीं सुना है. Anthony Giddens writes a book. स्ट्रक्चरेशन थ्योरी बताया था, ये जो बता रहा हूं अभी. Anthony Giddens writes a book, and the title of the book is New Rules of Sociological Method. डॉर्कहाइम का बुक का नाम क्या है? न्यू काट दो, रूल्स ऑफ सोशियोलॉजिकल मेथड. ठीक है? The title of the book of Durkheim is Rules of Sociological Method, and the title of the book of Anthony Giddens is New Rules of Sociological Method. ठीक है? In this new rules of sociological method, Anthony Giddens tells, you cannot treat social fact as things. ठीक है? ये बोलते हैं, When studying society, look at the, पहले सुन लो, अंडरस्टैंड करो, 2 सेंटेंस तुमको लिखना है. While studying society, structure is as much important, that much important is agency. ठीक है? Structure is as much important, that much important is agency. ठीक है? Because agency can influence to structure, and structure can also influence to agency. Structure can influence to agency, and agency can also influence to structure. Therefore, don't go for a deterministic approach. Go for a non-deterministic approach, realistic approach. That is what is known as structuration theory. So agency can influence to structure, and structure can influence to agency. Structure is what? Society, conscience collective. Agency is individual. ठीक है? एक अन्ना हजारे हिला के रख दिए स्ट्रक्चर को. कांग्रेस वेंट टू द स्टेट ऑफ ऑब्लिवियन. इतना बड़ा जबरदस्त पार्टी था. करप्शन करप्शन एंटी करप्शन मूवमेंट कर दिया, सबका दिमाग में घुस गया. करप्शन इज प्रमोटेड बाय कांग्रेस. अगली बार मोदी सरकार. लो, कांग्रेस मुक्त भारत चाहिए. आ गया. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? So it is not society that influence to individual behavior. Individuals can also primarily change structure. Therefore, don't say conscience collective is binding on individual. Understanding or not? A single individual can question, challenge, alter, modify, revolutionize structure. Therefore, there is always a tug of war between agency and structure. Sometimes structure prevails over agency, other time agency prevails over structure. And that you can study through a narrative, that you cannot study through objective evaluation. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? एक बुढ़ा आदमी कुर्ता, धोती कुर्ता पहन के पूरा एजेंसी को हिला दिया, कॉलोनियल स्टेट को. नाम है मोहनदास करमचंद गांधी. One agent entire structure को हिला दिया, and British was forced to leave the country. And we called him the father of nation. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? आगे कुछ नहीं बोलूंगा. One individual is sufficient enough to change entire structure. हिटलर का नाम सुने होंगे. एक इंडिविजुअल चाहिए. Understanding or not? So therefore, he is criticizing to Durkheim, saying that don't say that conscience collective is binding on individual. So through that you look into social fact which are the products of society. Nahi. Rebellion, protest, movement are also social facts. They are not endorsed by conscience collective. They are initiated by the agents of the society. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? Some people are holding an ideology, they are not happy with the state. बैठ के धरना पे, हाय 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 हाय, तुम उनको एंटी नेशनल बोलो, इनको कुछ भी बोलो. But these agents can be instrumental to bring change in the structure. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? So therefore, it is not man or individual always conforming to conscience collective. Individual agents can be constituting their groups, and they can challenge to structure and bring change in structure. इसीलिए women right activists, environmentalists, they are who? Agents. Anti-war group, anti-nuclear group. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? और LGBT community. So they are agents. And these agents can come forward and primarily bring change in structure. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? Therefore, sociologists should be giving a historical account of the change, interpretative narrative about change, empirical investigation of change. सारे मेथड हमारे लिए एक है. Driven by our primary requirement, will be using these methods. And that is known as structuration theory. No theory is good, no theory is bad. No method is good, no method is bad. So these methods are like weapons given to sociology. Brahmastra, Pasupatastra. So driven by our necessity, we should be using this kind of methods to conduct research. So therefore, positivistic method, talking about the study of facts as things, is one way of looking at reality, but that is not all inclusive, that is not self-sufficient, that is not appropriate, it is not the best. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? So this is what is Anthony Giddens, and this is all about social fact and limitations to social fact. समझ में? विद्वान बन गए हो? चलो. Very true. So therefore, structure creates agencies, and agencies can change structure. Structure creates agencies. Democracy gives you freedom. Therefore, as individual citizens enjoying that freedom, you go for right movement, civil society movement, animal rights movement, environmental right movement, transgender movement. As primary agency, you go for that because you live in democracy. So structure make agents, and agents glorify ideas, and they primarily go for what? Change in structure. ठीक है, चलो, ये हो गया डॉर्कहाइम सोशल फैक्ट. नेक्स्ट टॉपिक ऑफ डॉर्कहाइम इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, दैट इज डॉर्कहाइम ऑन रिलीजन. When the world is shattered by militantism, terrorism, fundamentalism, when religious revivalism is getting a momentum in modern society today, when on the basis of religion, the world is torn into pieces. And when on the basis of religion, people belonging to a particular religious community, understand not, are identified as fundamentalist or terrorist. When on the basis of religion, nation states are created. मैं इजराइल का बात कर रहा हूं, इस्लामिक रिपब्लिक का बात कर रहा हूं, हिंदू राष्ट्र का बात कर रहा हूं. ठीक है. When nation states are created on the basis, सुनो अभी बैठ के फंडामेंटलिज्म क्या है पूछो मत. तो when nation states are created on the basis of religion, religious fundamentalism or extremism, हो गया समझ में अभी, are coming into prominence. Religious revivalism is getting a momentum. Religious revivalism, because America में जाओ, you know, young people, they regularly visit church. Young people are becoming primarily the members of ISKCON. Indian sadhus like Ravi Shankar and others are going to America. Understand not? Isa also, Sadhguru, they are going to America and they are having many primary disciples over there. Okay. And world is divided on the basis of religion. We are progressive, forward-looking, understand not? Modern. Suppose Christian nations, others are orthodox, backward, such and such nations. If nations are divided on the basis of religion, nation states are created on the basis of religion. Religious fundamentalism and terrorism is primarily, breaking the world peace. When religious revivalism is getting a momentum all over the world, in that particular context, it is important to understand Durkheim's theory of religion. So Durkheim's theory of religion is more apt today than it was ever before, because he actually tells us what religion ought to be. He actually makes a distinction between true religion and how it is different from false religion. He actually tells us how religion is not dividing people. It is promoting unity among the people belonging to a society. Therefore, Durkheim's theory of religion is more important to understand, apply today, than primarily ever before. With this small note, I'm explaining Durkheim's theory of religion. Okay? Durkheim's theory of religion is more apt, more applicable to contemporary world, which is experiencing religious turmoil, religious conflict in different forms, in different societies. Okay? Prior to Durkheim, a large number of people spoke about religion. Okay? There were many anthropologists, those who are studying origin of religion. Okay? Where from religion originated, number of people were talking about it. For example, टायलर, E.B. टायलर, एंथ्रोपोलॉजी में पढ़ाया था. He develops the theory of animism. Max Muller develops the theory of naturism. ठीक है? Merit, theory of animatism. बहुत सारी थ्योरी है. लीमोस डिब्रोस का थ्योरी है फेटिसिज्म. सो बहुत सारे थ्योरीज आर डेवलप्ड टू एक्सप्लेन ओरिजिन ऑफ रिलीजन. Where from religion originated. एक चीज ध्यान में रखना, 19th century scholars were mostly speaking about origin of social institution. ठीक है? Because the theory of origin was deliberated by their predecessors. जैसे बताया था लुइस हेनरी मॉर्गन, एंथ्रोपोलॉजिस्ट, टेल्स पहले सैवेज सोसाइटी आता है, बार्बरिज्म आता है, देन सिविलाइजेशन कम्स. Similarly, many other anthropologists advocated, पहले मैजिक आएगा, फिर रिलीजन, अल्टीमेटली साइंस. हमारा ऑगस्ट कॉम्ट भी कम नहीं थे. थियोलॉजिकल, मेटाफिजिकल, देन पॉजिटिविस्टिक सोसाइटी. Therefore, early sociologists were very, concerned about origin. Origin of family, origin of religion, origin of state. If you look into the writings of Hobbes, Locke, and Rousseau, so they advocate how state originated. They say state originated through social contract. They rejected divine origin theory of the state. So 19th century scholars in totality were discussing about origin of social institution like family, marriage, state, religion, and so on. Therefore, the predecessors of Durkheim, like Tyler, like Max Muller, Merritt, were talking about how religion was originated. I'll not be discussing that in detail. Durkheim considers origin cannot be scientifically established. Origin cannot be scientifically analyzed. Because about origin of an institution or a practice, you don't have empirical evidence. Therefore, when we speak about origin, we are trapped into conjecture. कुछ समझ में आया ना? और एक बार बताओ, समझ में आया? When I speak about origin of family, see, a historian through primarily excavations, through primarily architecture, through the study of fossils can say people were present at this particular date. 50,000 साल पहले, 25,000 साल पहले, there were human beings present. But what historians do? Look at Indus Valley civilization. They find out in the walls there is images of primarily animals, image of sun. They arrive at the conclusion that people of Indus Valley civilization were worshipping to sun. If I find out an image in primarily a wall of the sun, is there any guarantee that people will be worshipping to sun? आसमान पे देखा, नक्शा बना दिया, इधर पिक्चर बना दिया. So therefore, I cannot scientifically, authentically establish the fact that people were worshipping to sun. They are worshipping to animals. Making art is a form of passion and hobby. But I cannot be connecting that art with the religion of the people. Therefore, Durkheim tells, since I don't have scientific data, empirical evidence, I cannot speak from where religion originated. Therefore, origin is not the subject matter of sociology, because sociology is a science. Science goes by facts about the origin of marriage, origin of family, origin of religion, origin of state. We don't have any empirical evidence. Therefore, sociology should not be speaking about origin of anything. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? Because once we speak about origin, we'll be falling trapped into conjecture. Therefore, Durkheim rejects too the theory of origin of religion. आया समझ में? Yes or no? Because, how religion originated, we never know because we don't have scientific data. And we never know when original body of human beings were born, what was their religious practice. We don't have any evidence or knowledge about it. So therefore, the people talking about the origin of religion, they were fighting with each other. Animism theory tells my approach to origin of religion is correct. Naturism tells my approach is correct. Merit tells my approach is correct. They fight with each other because their analysis is not driven by what? Empirical evidence. Therefore, sociology should be going for empirical study of religion. ठीक है? एक पॉइंट ध्यान में रखना. Durkheim rejects to the theory of origin of religion, and he talks about empirical analysis of religion, causal analysis of religion, comparative analysis of religion. तीन चीज बताया. He rejects to which approach? Origin of religion. Rather, he goes for empirical study of religion. Empirical data collect करो religion के ऊपर and इसको study करो. Therefore, rejecting to अरे origin वो नहीं है, origin of Christianity का बात हो रहा है. Origin means where from religion started from the early man. I can look into origin of Hinduism. Problem क्या है इसमें? Origin of Christianity, origin of Islam, data है. But how fast body of human beings in society they developed religion, इसका बारे में पता नहीं है. Because the man living in the most ancient phase of human history didn't have knowledge of writing. He could not write about himself. He could not speak. He didn't have primarily developed language. How can I speak about what kind of religion he practiced then? इसको थोड़ा सा बोल देता हूं, सुन लो, तुम्हारा ये हो जाएगा. ये जो E.B. टाइलर है बोलता है Religion originated from ghost worship. ठीक है, अपना अपना फिलोसफी से ले देते हैं घोस्ट वर्शिप कैसे होता है. डोंट राइट दैट. रिलीजियन स्टार्टेड फ्रॉम घोस्ट वर्शिप. बोलते हैं when people were living together in a community and one man belonging to the community is dead, a person dies in the family, the living members of the family believe that the spirit of that man is moving around. It may do some harm or injury to them. Therefore, to buy peace with that spirit, people perform rituals. Therefrom, first kind of religion started. So, ancestor worship or the ghost worship is foundation to all possible kinds of religion. इसको फिर आगे बढ़ाते हैं. सुनो कितना पागल है. फिर आगे बढ़ाते हैं. Why people worship to the spirit of dead ancestors? ठीक है, इसको एक्सप्लेन करने के लिए बताते हैं. Within our body, there is a soul present. हमारा बॉडी के अंदर में सोल है. इसको हिंदी में ट्रांसलेट मत करो, आत्मा फात्मा कुछ नहीं है. बॉडी का अंदर में देयर इज ए सोल प्रेजेंट. ठीक है. एंड व्हेन यू फॉल इन स्लीप, दैट स्पिरिट गेट्स आउट ऑफ योर बॉडी टेम्पोररली. कितना विद्वान है, सुनो. When you are sleeping, your primarily soul, it gets out of our body temporarily. Therefore, you fall in sleep. And that soul is so fast, so dynamic. It enters into the minds of others. मैं सो गया हूं, मेरा सोल बाहर आ गया, गुंजन का सपना में आ जाऊंगा मैं. With this kind of horn, these body eyes, these big eyes. सो डाक के मैं उसको डराऊंगा. उठ, क्यों सो रहे हो, पढ़ाई कर, यूपीएससी 25 दिन रह गया. डराता हूं जाके. Therefore, soul creates dream in the minds of others. ठीक है. When tiger sleeps, be careful. Tiger spirit will be coming to you in your dreams. Ferocious. चिल्लाओगे, अरे टाइगर आ गया, टाइगर आ गया, पीछे पड़ गया, बचाओ बचाओ बचाओ. By the time you get up, spirit will be going out of your mind. इनसे विद्वान कौन हो सकता है? Understanding or not? So therefore, that soul, when we are sleeping, soul is slipping out of our body temporarily, entering into the mind of others, creates dream. So what is dream? Dream is the presence of spirits of others in our mind. Understand not? That is what is dream. And we have a spirit. How do you know about it? When we are walking, our shadow falls on the ground. And size and the shape of the shadow keeps changing. So who keeps it changing? Soul present in the body. Therefore, soul is more powerful, spirit is more powerful than self. Okay? Therefore, when you are drinking water, your shadow falls on the water. This big face. This is again the work of whom? Soul or spirit. Therefore, spirit is powerful. It is deadly. It is dangerous. It can produce havoc in your life. ये दिमाग में आ जाता है. Therefore, when the ancestors die, we are scared of their spirit. Hence, we start worshipping to them. ठीक है? What is the difference between life and death? बोलो. Spirit is present. Therefore, there is life. Spirit goes out, person is dead. Therefore, where birth, growth and decay is present, there obviously spirit is present. ठीक है? मतलब मतलब a river primarily comes from a stream. Its size expands during rainy season, but in summer it is drying off. देखो रिवर का अंदर में भी स्पिरिट है. A seed gives rise to the growth of a plant. Ultimately, it is becoming tree, and tree is dying out. तो tree में भी spirit है. A pile of rocks is becoming primarily what? Mountain. There is a volcanic eruption. Mountain is primarily demolished. उधर भी spirit है. Therefore, spirit is present everywhere. In tree there is a spirit, in river there is a spirit, in mountain there is a spirit, in human body there is spirit. So therefore worship to everything and anything, animate and inanimate surrounding you, because all of them have spirit. That is how religion started, from spirit worship. ये इनका theory है. If sociology goes for this kind of explanation, then discipline will collapse. अंडरस्टैंडिंग इज नॉट. तो इसीलिए कौन सा डाउट हो गया तुम्हारा? ये क्या मैंने पढ़ा है, तुम लिख क्या रहे हो? Earlier, Durkheim said society cannot be changed by the individual. Now he says agency influenced. Durkheim का नहीं है, एजेंसी वाला कॉन्सेप्ट था एंथोनी गिडेंस का. डोंट कंफ्यूज. अंडरस्टैंडिंग नॉट. सुनो, क्लास में जो मैं बता रहा हूं आराम से सुनो. सुन नहीं पा रहे काल जाके सुनो. काल सुन के समझ में नहीं आएगा तो फिर मेरे को क्वेश्चन पूछो तुरंत, तत्काल. अंडरस्टैंड नॉट? हाँ. सो सुनो. सो दिस थ्योरी Durkheim rejects outrightly. This is all nonsense, conjectural explanation. So sociology should not be studying origin of anything. Origin is conjecture, origin is historical, origin is primarily philosophical, speculative, and sociology should not be going for it. Therefore it tells, इसको ध्यान में रखना, sociology should be going for empirical study of religion, comparative study of religion. Data collection करके हम religion study करेंगे. We'll compare religion between two societies and we'll be studying the outcomes of religion. इसको हम स्टडी करेंगे बाय एम्पिरिकल एविडेंस. ठीक है? तो रिजेक्टिंग टू व्हिच थ्योरी? हाँ, theory of origin of religion, Durkheim develops a sociological explanation of religion, rejecting to conjectural approach. ठीक है? While studying religion, he is encountering with the writings of different scholars. ठीक है? And I'll be dividing these scholars whose writings is primarily looking into 4 types. Okay? The writings of others on religion, I'll be dividing them into 4 types. Okay? First body of scholars consider that religion will disappear with the arrival of modernity in contemporary societies. Religion will disappear from modern society. One group of people speak about it. Okay. Another body of people will consider that religion promotes false consciousness in the minds of the people. Religion promotes false consciousness in the minds of the people. Therefore, religion must have to go from society. ठीक है? One group of people क्या बोलते हैं? Religion will disappear with the arrival of modern society. Second person tells religion is bad. It's promoting to the interest of dominant class. It justifies exploitation. Religion must have to go. Religion का कोई रोल ही नहीं है. Understand that? For progress, for development of society, religion must have to go. Third group of people consider that religion promotes discipline. regularity. And religion is universally present. Religion promotes discipline, regularity. Religion is present in every society, universal. And the other name of religion is society worship. Society is God. ठीक है? And fourth group of people, they indicate how religion can be studied in a scientific manner. ठीक है? So चार group of people हैं. One group of people say religion should be primarily disappearing when modernity comes into prominence. इनका contradiction हुआ third school. Religion is universal. Religion promotes discipline and regularity. So religion will be present everywhere because the other name of religion is society worship. ठीक है? Third group of people, they criticize to religion. Religion is speculative. Religion is primarily giving you false belief. Religion promotes dominant class interest. So religion must have to go from every society. And fourth scholar is advocating that how should one study religion from a scientific perspective. ठीक है? डॉर्कहाइम का सामने ये सारे चार ग्रुप ऑफ पीपल आर प्रेजेंट. He is rejecting to the views of some people, borrowing ideas from others, on the basis of that developing his theory of religion. ठीक है? एक एक करके बताऊंगा. प्रायर टू डॉर्कहाइम उनका गांव का एक आदमी थे जिनका नाम है रूसो. डॉर्कहाइम का गांव का है, फ्रांस का है. रूसो साहब बोलते हैं फर्स्ट स्कूल विद द अराइवल ऑफ मॉडर्निटी रिलीजन शुड डिसअपियर. रूसो का टाइम में क्या था रिलीजन? चर्च, blind beliefs, superstitions, giving justification to monarchy, people are exploited. वही था. तो he tells religion is a body of superstitions. ठीक है? Religion is a body of superstitions, dogmas and myths. Mythical ideas are present, dogmatic ideas are present. Religion is nothing but a body of superstitions. ठीक है? Religion is a body of superstitions, dogmas and myth. ठीक है? And that is injecting foolishness into man's mind. The superstitions, myths are injecting foolishness into man's mind. That God will give me salvation. God will take care of my interest. God will be protecting me. ये सारे foolish belief है. Understanding not? इसलिए there's a beautiful saying that those who are practicing religion, they are fools. Those who are preaching religion, they are scoundrels. डॉक्टर बी आर अम्बेडकर का स्टेटमेंट है. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? Those who are practicing religion, they are fools. And those who are promoting religion, they are scoundrels. Understanding or not? So therefore you will be finding out, he's saying that religion is a body of dogmas, myths, superstitions, which are injecting foolishness into the minds of the people. ठीक है? With the arrival of science and modernity, people's faith in religion will be shrinking. With the arrival of science, with the arrival, इसको religion जब आएगा क्वेश्चन ऐसे में लिखोगे सारे. So with the arrival of science, with the आजकल क्वेश्चन आता है, religion is the essence of man's life. Religion is important for character building. Religion is teaching us what is ethics. इसके ऊपर ऐसे पूछ लेते हैं. ठीक है? तो जो पढ़ा रहा हूं इसमें से फिल्टर करके यूजफुल इंफॉर्मेशन विल बी यूजिंग इन ऐसे. So religion is a body of dogmas, myths, superstitions present in man's mind. With rationality comes, science comes, religion will be disappearing from the mind of man. तुमको एक चीज पता है? Religion is not an ideology. Religion is greatly influencing to our every sphere of life. मैं ये बता रहा हूं क्योंकि कहाँ एक लेक्चर में दे रहा था, व्हाई सेकुलरिज्म इज अ डिफिकल्ट प्रोपोजिशन. थोड़ा सा ब्रेक ले रहा हूं, ये अभी नहीं बता रहा हूं तुमको, ये क्वेश्चन तुम बता रहा हूं. व्हाई इज सेकुलरिज्म ए डिफिकल्ट प्रोपोजिशन? You can destroy my temple. You can convert temples into primary school libraries. You can displace the gods. But still, society will not be free from religion. Because religion is not there in the book. Religion is not there in the prayer. Religion is not there in the deities. Religion is not there in the temple or priest. Religion is a form of consciousness, ideology, that lives in your mind. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? So religion lives in your mind. Since it is living in your mind, no revolution can primarily change your mind. Therefore, society can be secular, man can stay religious. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? So you can have a secular society where man is religious. इसलिए मैं मेरा किताब में लिखा था, तुमको बताया था, that women scientists of ISRO are putting primarily Mangalyaan in its orbit when they are not reluctant to put their Mangal Sutra onto their neck. Mangal Sutra talks about culture, talks about mind, talks about consciousness, talks about ethics, talks about value. So it's like staying as Indian, following Indian culture, I can become a great scientist. Because C.V. Raman was primarily putting on pagadi. But that never affected to his primarily what? Scientific mind. So therefore, always be careful. Making of a secular society is extremely difficult because religion lives in the head of man. Okay. So therefore, when I'm driven by that religious consciousness, my food, my clothes, my understanding of time, my definition of dates, समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? आज ऑस्पिशियस डे है कि नहीं है, चिकन खाना है कि नहीं खाना है, कौन सा ड्रेस पहनूंगा नहीं पहनूंगा. So most of the things are defined by my religion. So the way we cannot live without water, the way fish cannot live without primary, the way we cannot live without air, fish cannot live without water. Religion in one form or the other makes appearance in your everyday life. Therefore, gods may be different, place of worship may be different, kinds of books may be different, but religion was present, is present. Therefore, Isa, Sadguru, Sri Sri, they are making appearance catering to the contemporary religious needs of the people. Therefore, you may not be visiting temple, but somewhere, some form you are listening to primarily the pravachan of these people. तो इसीलिए मैं एक सेंटेंस बोलूंगा, present is more religious than past was, and past was more secular than present is. Therefore, you don't say modern society is a secular society and traditional society was a theocratic religious society. तो समझ में आया? थोड़ा बहुत कुछ आया? चलो आगे पढ़ाएंगे इसको, जब रिलीजन हमें चांस मिलेगा तो पढ़ाएंगे. चलो. So, Durkheim is primarily introspecting to the work of whom? Rousseau, who tells religion is a body of superstitions, dogmas, myths that is paralyzing to our mind. With the arrival of science, with the arrival of rationality, religion will be disappearing from man's mind. Means arrival of science is a departure of religion. Modern society में religion will have no place. The place that was given to religion will now be occupied by science. अगस्ट कम्ट भी वही बात किया था. Modern society will be known as what? Scientific society, positivistic society. Religion will not be present. Therefore, theological society is driven by religion. Modern society is driven by the spirit of science. ठीक है, ये उनका व्यू था. Similarly, August Comte advocated. रूसो का बाद August Comte. August Comte advocated that modern society is known as which society? बता दिया तुमको अभी. Modern society is known as scientific society or positivistic society. ठीक है. And who are the people placed at the center of this modern society? Who are the architects of this modern society? और तुम्हारा नाम भी बोल दो, इंजीनियर्स एंड साइंटिस्ट. दोनों का नाम लिया है. Both scientists and engineers are the architects of modern society. Therefore, scientific temper, rationality will be driving modern society. So whether Rousseau you look into or Auguste Comte you look into, both of them will be considering that God is dead in modern society or God is killed in modern society. Therefore, who killed God? Science and rationality. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? Arrival of modernity is a departure from tradition. Tradition represents religion. Modernity represents science. When science appears, religion disappears from the life of man. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? So science represents modernity, religion represents tradition. The signature of modernity will be giving rise to disappearance of religion. ठीक है, समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? ये दोनों थ्योरी बताए. ट्रेडिशनल सोसाइटी में रिलीजियन होगा, मॉडर्न सोसाइटी में साइंस होगा, एंड रिलीजियन विल नॉट बी प्रेजेंट. ठीक है, समझ में आ गया? इसका ऑपोजिट थ्योरी जो है, तुम्हारा भाई साहब है एक, थ्योरी नंबर 3, इनका नाम है कार्ल मार्क्स. तुम्हारा भाई है ना, क्या है? कार्ल मार्क्स रिलीजन को बहुत गालियां देता है. बोलता है अरे पॉजिटिव पॉजिटिव छोड़ो, इसको पॉजिटिव कुछ नहीं है. मार्क्स इज ए रिवोल्यूशनरी. क्या बोलता है सुनो. रिलीजियन is always promoting, patronizing the interest of whom? The people controlling over factors of production. ठीक है. So in slave society, religion will be promoting to the cause of whom? Masters. Feudal society, religion will be protecting and promoting the cause of landlords. In capitalism, religion will be promoting to the cause of the capitalist. क्या बोलेगा? Religion will teach you good behavior, morality, ethics. So therefore you will be exploited and be thinking, I should not be killing the exploiter. You will be exploited in the factory, but in evening you will be going to temples to pray God. भगवान मेरे को लूट लिया, भगवान मेरा पैसा लूट लिया, मेरे को छुट्टी नहीं दे रहा, तू देख ले. Do you think God exists? God will come and punish that person? No. God will not be listening to your prayer, because after you visit the family temple, the same person will come carrying loads of gift for God. God, ये एप्पल है खा ले, ये बनाना है खा ले, भूख नहीं लग रहा ये नहीं खाओगे, मिठाई है खा ले, मिठाई नहीं खाओगे दूध पी ले. तो गॉड किसका बात सुनेगा? You are going with empty hand. He is going with loads of family what? Gifts. If there is a God, that God is going to listen to whose prayer? Bolo. The person who is primarily conducting special puja, special arti, special rituals, special eatable items, God will be listening to him. He will come back to the factory with full confidence that God is there to protect me. Exploit you further. Therefore, no change will be there in your destiny. So God always promotes, God always patronizes. To whose interest? The interest of the dominant people. इसलिए बोलता है, क्या बोलता है? Religion is the hope of the hopeless situation. Religion is a hope of the hopeless situation. Where situation is completely hopeless, he is going to exploit you, make money. You think God will be savior, God will be protector, God will be promoter, because you are a fool. Religion is giving you false hope. Situation is hopeless, but you are still carrying the hope. अच्छे दिन आएंगे, भगवान आएंगे, मेरा दुख दूर करेंगे. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? Hope of the hopeless situation. ठीक है? Soul of the soulless individual. ठीक है? Soul of the soulless individual. Soulless कौन है? आत्मा को रेफ्रिजरेटर रख के आया है कौन? अरे तुम्हारा जो मालिक है मुनिम है, मास्टर है, इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट. इफ यू आर आस्किंग फॉर सम एडवांस टू हिम, क्या बोलेगा? भगवान का कसम लेके बोलता हूं बेटा, पैसा नहीं है. Understand? I'm taking the name of God that all the money I had, I spent it. I don't have any money. He's using God to befool you because he's a soulless man. You are appealing to him, my wife is not well, child is not taking food for since so many days. Please give me some money. I'll be paying it back to you, working with you for a long time. He will not listen because he doesn't have any soul. But he takes the name of God and you believe that he is correct. He is not having any money. Therefore, religion is the hope of the hopeless situation. It is the soul of the soulless individual. It is the sigh of the oppressed creature. SIGH. Bhagavan bacha le, sigh. The oppressed creature is doing nothing but breathing, deep breathing bolte usko, sigh of the oppressed creature. Religion is an illusion. कुछ नहीं होता, सारे illusion है, माया है. Marx believes in God. भगवान को गालियां देता है, believes in God. So religion is the sigh of the oppressed creature. Only poor man believe in religion. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? Rich man use religion for his economic gain. So religion is the sigh of the oppressed creature. It is the opium of the masses. Religion is the opium of the masses. जैसे अफीम खा के लोग झूमते हैं, तो once religion comes to your head, समझ में आ जाएगी ना? Once religion comes to head, भाइयों बहनों बताओ, मंदिर बनाएंगे कि नहीं बनाएंगे? बनाएंगे. हमारा दुख दर्द कौन दूर करेगा? राम जी दूर करेंगे. तो रिलीजन ऑपिएट्स द masses. Once you inject religiosity into the mind of the masses, कुछ नहीं दिखाई देगा. They'll only be thinking about God, well-being of God, food for God, dress for God. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? यह है रिलीजन का काम. इसलिए मार्क्स बोलता है, first essential condition required for bringing revolution is to destroy religion. पहले रिलीजन का हत्या करो, इसका बाद रिवॉल्यूशन विल बी कंप्लीट. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? यस और नो? जब भी इंडिया में फार्मर्स मूवमेंट हुआ, मोस्ट ऑफ द मूवमेंट्स वर अनसक्सेसफुल. क्यों पता है? फार्मर्स वर डिवाइडेड ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ रिलीजन. Therefore, farmers movement got converted into religious division. Mupla movement you can talk about, Eka movement you can talk about, East India में जो movement हुआ था, sorry, East Bengal में जो movement हुआ था, all these movements were divided on the basis of religion. Therefore, what is religion? रिलीजियन इज द होप ऑफ द होपलेस सिचुएशन, सोल ऑफ द सोललेस इंडिविजुअल। समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? इट इज एन इल्यूजन। समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? एंड it is the sigh of the oppressed creature. It is the opium of the masses. Therefore, to bring equality, to bring revolution, you must have to kill God. Therefore, God must be dead. Only then equality will come in society. तो इसलिए इनको बोलते हैं सर मार्क्सिस्ट हैं, हमारा भगवान पे विश्वास नहीं करते गधे। समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? सो लेट गॉड बी डेड, ओनली देन आवर सोसाइटी विल बी प्राइमरी फ्री सोसाइटी, इक्वालिटेरियन सोसाइटी। ठीक है, जाओ कल पढ़ाएंगे। रिलीजन बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग है।